What is up, ladies and gents? It's another day of VOD analysis here at Immortal Minds, and with Sean and Mike, and we have ourselves a European game to break down, and we're looking at the defense on bind of Team Liquid. But before I get into that, how are you guys doing this lovely day? It's fine evening.
Dan, why do you have a feels bad man in your background?
I don't really know.
Talk
Maybe there's I don't
Why
really
is it not a
understand.
feels good man?
I don't know. It's all I just don't ask me questions. I have a cat.
You literally have a tournament in your home city right now. That has to be nice, right? No
in
travel.
his
You literally
backyard.
don't you wait, you live in Culver City, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say that out loud.
Pretty much.
Not a good
Talk to
idea.
me. Thanks, mate.
There's a lot of people that live in Culver City. You're fine. No one will find you.
um. Anyway,
This is off to a rocky start. Real rocky.
I'm not even trying to save this just because I'm too tired to try to save this. I'm just gonna let this sit. I don't know what to do. Right. So this is a cool show and stuff. We talk about nerdy things about Valorant. Welcome to the show, guys. It's been good seeing the growth. I think people are starting to check out our VOD analysis a lot more as well. Um, so we've all watched this game. Mike is gonna lead us through this one today, at my request, and I think he's gonna do an amazing job. So let's just get into it. Fuck it.
So
Right.
thanks for the
Whoa,
thanks
Dan
for the
dropping an
transition.
F-bomb. I like it.
Okay, so a few things we'll just talk about as this game goes on. So we'll just talk about the pistol setup quick. So mostly this VOD's going to be focusing on Liquid's defense, but obviously we'll have to talk a little bit about what FPX does to make adjustments and stuff like that. So they're playing a 3B setup, and we have the large mini map now. So hold on, I actually have to go like this. So now we're good. Okay, so Scream is
Cheers,
going to be...
buddy. Sorry.
Scream's going to be sitting under hookah at the start of this piss round with a wall ready just in case contact comes. And I'll play it forward just to show what Eccles does with his smokes here. And he's going to be doing this pretty consistently. So he smokes top short, and he's going to smoke outside hookah. Now, what these smokes do, when we pause here, is either A, teams have to try to push through those with utility, except the one outside hookah they're going to do pretty consistently, but it's very hard to like maneuver around that smoke since it's a very awkward space. And it causes these people from the middle of the map to try to work towards the extremities or wait out. So in the meantime, like Liquid can set up traps on the extremities, or they can just like hold positions in hookah or short, because these guys either have to go through a smoke at a disadvantage, or they basically just have to wait out, or like I said, work the extremities.
Yeah, I love the hookah one. The hookah one's really good because it also allows you to break the boom bot, right? Because the one that Raze always throws, that's why there's a Raze over there. Raze always throws that boom bot in hookah, or they follow a drone into hookah. You know, attackers always do that. But throwing that smoke allows you to safely break the boom bot before it ever even gets close to coming inside hookah, which means that the other team has to waste more utility and then telegraph their hit even more. So that's why I personally like throwing that smoke as omen.
So this is kind of like a standard A take from short, and Eccles is in a really good spot here. Top boxes to get two, and then you can see on B as well, when YouTube doesn't lag out, that Scream on the main map here, you can see walled off hookah, and they still have the cam there, so even if they do revert this at all, they could always retake B pretty easily since the spots are limited.
That seemed a little bit dry, no? Considering they have like a breach, they have a drone potentially, a recon potentially, a cam, an
Yeah,
omen flash. I can't
two
believe that guy top
flashes.
box. Yeah, I can't believe that guy top box had that clean look. Kind of weird.
This retake was a little bit like scrappy as well, just positioning wise.
Oh, they did flash top box. Okay, I missed that. Sorry. Yeah. It's kind of scrappy towards the ends, like you said. Like, just gets down at the 2-on-1.
I was going to ask you guys too, have you seen much from FPX? Because I've been watching a decent amount this past week of demos, so I've been watching a lot of them. I think this team is like criminally underrated. I think they're going to be really good with Angel, IGL in.
Yeah, I actually think this team is one of my favorite teams to watch right now. Their strats are all very simple. That it's almost it's eerily similar to how Angel seems to operate in CS. Like it's crazy. They're very simple, and the way that they're designed is to get the opening kill on attack. Like everything is set up to get like 1 or 2 opening engagements, and then they just like know how to mid game, like CS mid game at that point. And like they're spread out across the map accordingly, and they have like good lurk potential, and they know goals, like general goals, like take U-Haul control or make sure we get hookah control post plant or leave a guy here post plant. You know, like everything is like everything is goal set to get that opening engagement though. And if the opening engagement goes their way, they almost always win the round. That everyone else has like these massive execs planned, and they're a little bit more loose. I kind of think they have the right style, to be honest. Not 100% though.
Yeah, I haven't seen a huge amount from them yet because I've mostly been focused on the NA scene. But what I have seen has looked really promising as well. I also feel like they've been flying under the radar a little bit. But maybe that's just my bias because I'm so focused on NA. But I actually had a couple questions. Actually, because of some of the things that I witnessed today, casting the Pop Flash event. And one of the things I saw today that I thought was really cool, as we're talking about like defense on bind here, is I saw I'm blanking on which team did it now, but a retake setup where you have your cipher playing around elbow and you have that hidden cam that's set up for basically retake information, and you stack the other 4 players on the A site. I actually really like this as just a default retake setup because if the cipher is able to hold on to that position, and he had his trips set up in a way where if an execute comes in, the smokes land on top of the trips. So he basically got 3 kills from elbow because you get the reveal as when people run
Yeah.
through the trips to try to punish you. Then as everybody came through, they hadn't spotted the camera. He's able to ping everyone, get a tag, and so on and so forth. It just seemed very strong. Have you guys seen that much? Because I like that a lot, and I haven't seen it a huge amount yet.
Dude, yeah, I think the round you might be talking about is the pistol round for Gen G when they had Michael at elbow with those 2 trips.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught this, but he had 2 trips in the site, and he had a ghost, which means that someone on his team dropped him that ghost to play solo
Yes.
B, which is really sick. Like I haven't seen many people dropping ghosts to their teammates on defense, but that's a perfect scenario of when you would do it. And those trips were like in the sand of the site, like they were like super hidden. They were like really nerdy trips that I've never seen before in ranked. Like that, he got 2 kills using them. It was so sick, and he was great at popping his cages and like being inside of them. Like remember the one on Ascent he did where he was like heaven and he jumped out into the site?
Oh, that cage was so nuts on the
Dude,
pistol. Yeah.
that was so
That
sick.
was a great cage. Yeah,
He was so good with the cages and trips.
one other question I have in terms of that's just food for thought. But again, this is the second question based on some of the stuff we saw today in the Pop Flash tournament. We saw a bind game. Again, I'm blanking on the teams because I'm too tired right now. But we had a bind game where there was no Sage on either team, and we had no Brimstone on either team as well. So the only smoker on either side was Omen, and it was really weird. And from all the games I've seen, especially from people like Sick, and in this game we're going to see from Scream as well, I feel like there is actually massive value to having a Sage on binds for many different reasons. I don't know
Dude.
if because we didn't talk about the compositions just yet in this game. I just wanted to see if you guys have any quick thoughts about the compositions in general here.
Dude, I'm so glad you brought this up because I was gonna bring it up, but I was like, Dan's probably a little bit tired. He probably wants to go through this, so I'm not gonna bring it up. But I was very disappointed with the lack of sages on bind today that I saw, like across every team besides Sentinels. I don't know if it's because Sage is just like a boring character and people feel like they just can't shine on her. But there's so much value to stopping these hookah hits. Like when I was watching T1 just get obliterated in hookah in that last game, I didn't stream that one, but the Omen just kept throwing a flash into hookah, and like AZK was opping at his jet, and like I think food was on Raze inside hookah, and they just get pushed off every single time. But imagine if there was like slows or a wall. You know, that Omen flash would do jack shit at that point, right? But these teams just don't have that foresight. I don't understand. These EU teams that run these comps would own the NA teams without a
Oh
Sage.
yeah. Oh
They
my
would
god, yeah.
own them. They would destroy them unbind. I'm
Yeah.
100% sure. Now,
There's like, oh,
did
go
you see
ahead.
the one on Split? Did you see the game on Split without a Sage today? When
Which,
Cloud9 played that? I think it was
yeah,
Cloud9.
yes,
When
they
they
I
did
was like,
3
ran the
duelists.
Reina
it's like,
on
dude,
tens. Yeah,
what are these guys? What were they
they
thinking that
they
that
clearly had no
comp?
plan for that. I felt like,
Yeah, I think Sage is still one of the strongest agents in the game. So it's shocking to me that a lot of these NA teams aren't running a Sage right now.
yeah. Well, I feel like there's a lot more to go into with all of that. I feel like we could really dive down the rabbit hole, but I don't want us to get too distracted because we only have an hour for this one today. So, Mike, let's get us back on track here.
Yeah, so this is just an eco round, except Liquid are really aggressive on their eco rounds, and they'll force up a lot on the second round, even if they don't win pistol, which I like a lot, especially because that last round, even though the attackers got the bomb down, they only had one alive, so even though this is a lighter investment from Liquid, like they just have 3 shorties, a Frenzy, and a Marshall, at least it's still like the Marshall can have heavy impact on this round, which Scream does later on. So there's playing with these smokes again, denying hookah control early on, and then there's going to leave Soulcast, which is the Raze in U-Haul. So it's a nice gamble stack B, which I'm glad teams are starting to do more because it was really irritating at the start of the game when people were just playing like standard on ecos.
One of the things I like about this as well is that I feel like U is a pretty safe place to be, because you know that's like one of the areas that the attackers don't really have an interest in. So I feel like that's a part of the meta that you can take advantage of, and that's actually something I noticed today in some of the matches. That if you're playing the eco, if you're the team playing the eco on the attack, and you have some shorties and you got a jet, you can pretty much take it for granted that the defenders are not going to have anyone in you. I remember seeing someone throwing a Phoenix wall across all the way from short to cut off vision towards the cross towards that U, and you just know that it's free. So there's definitely like a method evolving around this position, and I think that it's really worth mentioning. I think one of you guys mentioned this the last time we did the bind analysis. This U whole position is it's like the great equalizer. You can get really fast timings to both sides of the plant, whichever way it's been planted, doesn't really even matter. And you can isolate 1v1s really effectively. So it's such a strong position for that reason. So I think that's something to always be in the discussion, is how important U-Haul is. But sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I like the flash coming out of Angel, who's playing Omen there to clear this corner, just push anyone back in the U-Haul. And then this is like why we like Breach so much. So he can flash this angle off again. I think Angel waited here because someone else should probably be clearing this with him, and that's why he didn't go in with the flash. So that's why they have to clear this late. But I think the Raze was supposed to go with him there. But I still just love Breach's utility on this map. It's like so versatile.
It's actually criminal that we don't see more Breach. I know in the North American scene in general, it feels like when Breach ever even is picked, people don't really know what to do with him. And it's really sad.
I was pretty excited when I saw I think it was Gen G use him today.
Yeah, GMD was on him on like
GMD was on him.
Ascent, and he got 2 kills.
Yeah.
He was getting shut down.
Yeah, he was on him on Split as well.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
think he had a couple ults that could have been way more impactful.
I completely agree, yeah.
He missed the spot of the ult like twice, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. I think he could be way more impactful.
Yeah, the Breach's abilities are still so extremely good. It's actually kind of crazy how much he slept on, but I think this is going to be something that is just a feature of Valorant in general, that there will be a lot of agents that will have really great kit, but it just depends on what approach any given team wants to take, and it just may not include. I mean, that's what we're literally seeing this with Breach. I don't think you can deny that his kit's amazing. Like every single ability he has is really useful, and everything, and yet he doesn't get really picked at the moment. He's just not in the meta currently. So I would expect that will shift at some point.
I think as well, like if you're not picking Sage, like a lot of people aren't picking Sage now so they can get a second duelist. I feel like Breach is way better to have on your team, depending on the map, of course, but
does this Breach have is that an aftershock? Is he
Yeah.
aftershocking the hookah peak early rounds so that way no one peeks that? That's
Yeah.
really sick. If so, like that, because everyone likes peeking out hookah at least like 1.5 rounds, right? At least 1.5 rounds, probably several rounds a half. Honestly, based on what I've seen, which is why you see like teams camming there and doing all kind of crazy shit to stop hookah peaks. Because the op peaking hookah is actually quite difficult to stop. People come through the telly a lot to combo, and it's very difficult to stop that kind of stuff. So the aftershock basically is like, okay, you can come out of hookah, but once you're out, you're gonna go 1 for 1. Like you might be able to kill one of us, but if you go back in, you're gonna die to the aftershock. And if you stay out, the second guy over here is gonna kill you.
I think I love this point that you're making because it's a great opportunity cost idea that, as you say, most people will, if they are expecting there to be hookah action, they actually throw the cam out first. And I feel like it's a much more of a loss with the cam because it takes so long to on cooldown. And now if you have a cipher, as we see, that cam can be used to help gain control elsewhere. So I like that Breach offers that immediate counter to those instant peaks. And there's any agent that he could be typically replaced by, like maybe a Sage, or and I guess with Sage you can use an Ice Orb to do that. But I feel like that's you want those free abilities to, if you can, at the beginning of the round for stuff like this. So yeah, I completely agree.
This sounds kind of crazy that I don't even know the answer to this, but so few people play Breach that I don't know the answer to this. What does Breach's fault line do to a drone and a boom bot?
It
Does
slows them.
does it slow down a drone?
I think as long as it's in the path, yeah. I know Boombot for sure, it like stops it and slows it. It makes it like jump up, but I can't remember for drone. I feel like it does slow it though.
I'm just curious because like both of those things seem like defenses haven't really solved like how to deal with those things taking hookah. Like I just watch teams do the same shit over and over and over. Like the paranoia going into hookah combined with the boom bot. And it's like teams are like, well, oh damn, they're doing it again. Well, I guess we have to just give them hookah. Like, why are there no solutions? Like, I don't understand. Why are these teams not have solutions to these things? Surely there's solutions.
I think Sage and Breach both are like perfect solutions to hookah control, like
Yeah,
you said earlier, but
I think so
people
too.
are kind of slow to realize that. I think like all the matches today with Bind, it's just like you said, it's like, okay, I'm Omen flashing this, and now I'm boom buying into hookah, and now we have hookah. And it's like,
Yeah.
surely you can like try to think of something to do here, but
Mm. Interesting. Okay.
so this round, the nice thing about with Eccles too is with the smokes he does, he can rotate around a lot. So let's play it forward enough here. So he has the outside hookah smoke and then the long B smoke. And since they have Cryptics up and U-Haul here as Cypher, and since people aren't like necessarily going to like always pop off short, at least he's set up for that if they're trying to take fast U-Haul. So now they've smoked off hookah and outside long, so it's very rare that you're going to see something happen there. There's probably going to weigh it out and not challenge it. Shorts covered, U-Haul's covered. So now they really have like they can dictate the fight here, which is showers with Scream and Soulcast just like dry swinging it, because now they actually can like dictate where the fight's happening because they know they have all their other bases covered, so they don't have to worry about like, oh, if they do something fast here, we're like totally out of position. They're just like set up exactly for that.
I'm a big fan as well of. I think I talked about this on one of the casts today. Just the B long control is so critical because if the attackers do get hookah control, it still doesn't feel extremely threatening. They still have to make their way into the site through a choke point. They kind of need that split possibility to at least clear the garden area, the octagon area. And so I like it as a safer approach because it also allows you to kind of buy more time for the rotation. Whereas if the opponents are able to just run, I feel like the opponents are more easily able to run through B long if they gain control of it. And also at the same time, they're also able to use that TP potentially. So if they have showers control and one showers control early in the round, it feels more confusing for you as a defender. And so I really like seeing that B long control. Gen G today, they focus around a lot of hookah control, and because they didn't actually have the Sage or the Brim, they felt like they had to be aggressive there, and they just lost rounds because they couldn't hold it at all.
Yeah, I also like I'm not sure if you call it how they actually got that beeline control, but they omen smoke deep and they shot
Yeah.
a recon behind it. Like that's so sick. I do that sometimes in ranked actually when I have a Sova on my team, and it's just so OP. It's like you create like a wall that you can have perfect penetration behind. Like you'll know where the enemy is behind the smoke, and they won't know where you are. You just like get a free kill if someone's a little bit sloppy, and just runs up. So I like the combination of Omen sticking with Sova, and also based on where's I'm kind of figuring out like what's going on right now at B. Like, why would Scream hold this angle with a bulldog, no slows, and a wall? Like, this is like actually a very shitty angle to hold. And I think he has the foresight that Spawn's gonna get smoked, and his Sova, who's playing elbow, is gonna shoot an arrow above hookah, so that way people that jump out of hookah get pinged. I'm just guessing, but that's the only way that his spot makes sense right now.
I think the other thing too is that he can maintain a rotation position and also like guarantee more of a safe rotation through the smoke with the wall that he could throw up. And that's also another option that's available for him here.
True. I think it would be better though for the Sage to be elbow, so that way he could wall over the smoke at elbow, or like wall over their Sage wall. Like and peek over it and get free kills. I feel like he can't do anything once he gets smoked off here. So I would imagine he's going to use the Sova dart, but I
You're
don't
right
know. We'll
about the
see.
Sova dart. So
Okay,
he's
nice.
going to Sova dart out here after they smoke off spawn. Angel has a really good teleport when he smokes off top site, but since the smoke's kind of out of place, it's kind of predictable. But Scream's going to have a really good wall here that we'll talk about in a second that buys time for rotation. So the TP's in, Boombot comes in, and then he's going to smoke off spawn. Now they got his next smoke, and now here's the wall, and there's the recon you were talking about.
Bro, I'm using that telly.
Yeah.
What? That's so sick.
So on the mini map now you can see to the right of B site that wall there that Scream got down within the enemy smoke there, and you might think like, oh, that wall is like really useless. They could just like spam it or play around it. But it's really good for buying backside space, especially for rotators, because now if anyone was close behind or like close rotating, that allows them to get out backside now, and it allows Scream to get out backside as well, because it's really hard to retake like through that smoke spawn, and it just buys time for them. But now you've completely negated what that smoke's there for by that wall, and it buys so much space for the defenders.
Yeah, and I think as well, like given the fact that I mean, taking down a wall, yeah, sure, it's easy when you're sitting at the bottom of mid on split and you can just spray into it with no cost. But here the cost is time, and you're with that time you have to be gaining position as soon as you've initiated the push, and this wall comes in after the push has been committed to, or at least they're throwing everything in. So that's like another reason why I like it, because it does reinforce this idea of delay, which buys time for that rotation as that it's protecting for. So and this honestly, I'm seeing more and more stuff with Sage on Bind where I'm like, Sage is actually so awesome on this map, because there is a lot of value for Sage at pretty much every single position on defense, whether it's bathrooms, A short around the site, just basically everything. I've seen players do really great stuff. Sick is obviously a player that honestly his Sage play on this map is amazing. We covered that I think on the last VOD, in fact.
Yeah, he's one of like the few insanely good Sage mains, right? Like it feels like they're so rare, like the really good Sage mains.
Yeah, I think on Bind as well, like the open skybox really helps out a lot, because you can slow from like B to A or A to B at any point. Like I know, Sean, I think you showed Sideshow's video on your stream where FPX like slowed inside hookah, and then they
yeah.
Sova ulted from U-Haul like across the map. There's just like so
Dude.
many different things you can do like that.
Dan, did you see
Did you
that
guys
video
see
that
the?
Sideshow made?
Oh, I didn't, but I was about
So,
to ask you.
so insane.
If you saw today on the stream, I think it was Gen G that they had to set up where when they were taking bathrooms control, they had an instant ice orb right outside of the bathrooms, and then they orbital striked it, and it caught the two players going aggressive in bathrooms, just instantly just
Oh yeah,
vaporized them.
yeah, I saw that. That was
That was
fucking really cool.
that
That
was
was really cool.
awesome. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of in the last VOD review where we were talking about the Hunter's Fury setup, where you're basically saying in your default, you guys have to. I think in that game it was hookah pressure, so you convince the defenders to set up and put attention on hookah, and then you put them in a position that you then ult. It's like reminding me exactly of that, but towards the showers and with the brim ult. That's just so cool to see people coming up with this stuff.
Dude, yeah, there's so many teams now at like the top level that are creating these scenarios where it seems like you're just cooked. Like if they decide that they want to kill you with like an ult combo, you're so dead. You're just like helpless. There's several combos that I've seen where I'm just like, well, that's a fucking trap and a half. Like, how do you get out of that once you're in it? You're just dead.
This is so true. All right, let's go turbo mode. I'm at fault here. I'm gonna take the blame for slowing things down and allowing tangents to happen. So, uh, once again, Mike, you can help keep us honest and keep us on track.
Yep, the rest of the round's pretty simple. They just buy a lot of space there so they can rotate backside, and then they completely shut down the rest of the hookah push, and that's just down the meadow and long, so round's pretty much dead after they get that backside kill on Angel, which is pretty crucial.
Ooh.
But like
On a side note, the reason why I like that smoke top site that Angel tellied into also is because if you're in the site, you can't see anything. And the other team, if they push site, could see your feet. Like that smoke over the site is actually really sick for Omen to throw. I am literally going to use that all the time now. I never thought about doing it. I think it's brilliant.
until someone in rank just spams you with an Odin
Yeah.
instead.
I'll fake telly during the mob. That's so sick, dude. I love that idea, actually.
Yeah, so this round we see the same smoke coming out outside hookah, so that's another constant from the default. Soulcast can solo take showers because there's hasn't been much pressure there at all. Echoes is in kind of a bad position here since they don't really have any support since they're playing 3A. Scream walled off short, which not really sure like this early into round. I know he probably did so he could rotate, but I just feel like not the best time to wall there or use of it compared to like last round. How like last round really showed how impactful a wall can be instead of just like slowing someone down. But so Eccles here is going to get picked off after he gets one, and then Link's going to trade, and this will be something I want to bring up here. So he gets the trade frag there, so now they're up 4v3. Scream's rotating over to help him. Obviously he doesn't know if there's anyone hookah yet, but the thing is you're Sova, right? And I think Sean addressed this the other day as well, where if you're Sova, especially like he has a drone and 11 seconds until he gets his recon back. When you have like this type of util and your agent is meant to be getting info, you should be using your util to get info. So you can see on the main map here, he's going to be walking up B long to try to figure out, like, since there's a lot of dead air right now, and maybe catch someone off guard. It's just that when you have all that utility at your disposal to get that info instead where you don't have to risk your life, it seems really silly to, like, when you're using a character like Sova or Cypher to be doing that. I don't know what you guys think, but
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think when you have a recon on refresh like that, you need to live late round. And I know it might be a ballsy play. So if I were Link in that scenario, I would make myself look bigger than I am. And I would take the risk that if I were to drone, people would assume at a pro level that there's more people than me on the B side, right? Who the fuck would solo drone on B in that scenario? No one. So I would drone, honestly, just because they would be like, oh shit, this guy must have a second player in the B site to drone. Like no one's gonna just blind jump out of hookah right there. I I don't know. Like I probably either fall to elbow and drone, or I just drone in the corner right there by B long and just push.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Because that would
elbow.
make them not push you. Like the second they hear the drone, they're like, oh shit, there's like 2 people at B.
Yeah, it creates a lot of delay because even if they are nearby, they kind of have to pause and try to avoid detection. But it's because in this situation, if you detect one player, you have a really good idea where the other two likely have to be because I mean, that actually brings me to my main point here in that the reason that this push is also weird, other than the fact that you have like this perfect utility to just do the job for you safely, is that in Counter Strike, one of the things that I think that one of the protocols that's drilled into every player's brain should be keeping track of the numbers. And in this situation, when you're in a 4 versus 3, and the only thing that you're really scared of is maybe the breach ult that FPX have. But you're in a 4 versus 3, so pushing for information becomes less important because you already have enough advantages to win the round. And by doing so, this can happen and you can give up. Now it's a 3v3 and they have a breach ult. So that's like suddenly things look very favorable.
I
So
think
yeah, it is kind of a crazy overextension for sure, I think, in all counts.
yeah, and I think as well, like it's pretty standard to see every team now, for the most part, pick Cypher and Sova. And it's like, compared to CS, you don't actually need to physically push for info in scenarios like this. Like, let your utility do the work for you when you can use it, because it's expendable. But like, if you die and you're not in a resable position, you're just kind of out of it. So playing forward here, we will see the breach ult come in, but Scream has another great piece of utility here to basically negate it. So he's going to get ulted, but he's going to slow this left side of the site here. So when they're pushing up, they can't actually like act on that. So now they're completely slowed
Wow.
off. The rotations come in.
Wait. Can I
Hello.
hear? Is Mike talking?
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
something
there we
happened. What
go.
happened?
It was
We
just,
good?
yeah, it was just like the Sage
Oh,
slow comes in. I'll just replay again. So they breach
My
ult,
bad.
Sage slow comes in and just completely like stalls out the push.
Dude, that's crazy that a Sage slow can negate a breach ult. Holy shit.
That's such like good thinking as well, like on the fly when you're really feeling the pressure there. Like they're all pushing up B long, your Sova just got picked off, and they're acting quick on it, and then you just drop a 200 credit piece of utility.
yeah.
Wow.
It's one of those things too with the breach hole where you're wondering, like, do you use it to initiate with, or do you try to save it for the retake? And I think initiating with it, because that's the surest thing, makes like there's an overwhelming argument there. So it is insane that the sage is able to just negate it. Like, what other agent would it actually be able to with a like what an ice orb is like 100 credits?
Yeah,
Like, I don't
100
think
set.
anyone else has a cheap answer like that.
I mean, I could telly over a breach ult. I could telly past the things. I don't know if you know that, but Omen can do
Oh
that.
yeah.
If you time it right, you can not get hit.
Oh crap. That's
You,
awesome.
yeah, but it's pretty hard, and they would know you're doing it. Like you still have to win the fights afterwards. Whereas Sage doesn't even need to fight. They can't get past. They can't get to her. That's sick, dude. That was really quick thinking.
So then this next round, they're going to change up a little bit outside of Hookah. So they've been smoking this off every time, but now they have Scream here, and he's going to slow it instead. So that way, because they've been kind of catching on that the smoke outside Hookah has been a bit of a bluff because they've been taking Hookah faster each time. But they have Sova drone through long here after Echo smokes that off, and he's going to clear showers. Soulcast is alright through showers, but he has a recon, or I meant a recon, sorry, this round they just recon outside showers, which I feel like is, on this map, it's pretty crucial to have a Sova that can play either site, but be able to like pinpoint recon any of these like T starting areas, like outside short or outside hookah at any point. And the slow basically just did what the smoke was doing before, slow these guys down outside hookah to let them try to get information showers, so then they can properly rotate over. Because now they know showers is clear again, they have trip set up for a fast U-haul take, and then FPX are funneled in the hookah now.
Dude, this is so weird. This is such a different style than the NA teams. Don't you think so, Dan? Like the
Oh
lack
yeah.
of hookah control coming out the defense, and like they have these plans set. Like that's a risky cross actually by Scream. There could have been a guy up long B. He didn't know that for sure.
Didn't they have the smoke down?
Yeah, but they had no. When he crossed just now, there was no smoke there.
Oh right. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say like because when I watched the demo of this, I really liked this hookah wall because I completely agree, and it kind of goes back to that point I was making before. And you see, at the NA teams will play the B long position because it's again the hookah is like very risky. You have to have the stuff to be able to actually hold and challenge it. And if the other team really wants it with an omen flash and like raise utility and the rest of it, they it becomes this like who's going to spend more utility and find a way to get out of the situation without losing more players than the other team. And playing that style honestly feels kind of coin flippy sometimes. And so I much prefer this approach where you try to hold on to control of key areas like belong, and you try to keep them from having an argument that they can take the site. And I like that a lot more. So I completely agree with you. It feels more methodical.
Yeah, I would love to see Henne play. I don't think we're gonna get it for a while, but there's massive differences when I
Yeah.
watch the games today that we saw in the tournament versus this that we're seeing now. Like this is very, very different. This is crazy actually. I'm shocked like that it's so different.
And this is like so methodical from FPX too, and this is like a half investment from them. They're just on like pistols and stuff like that. And they know since they spent so long like towards hookah there, now they're worried about any sort of showers push because they don't have any trip set up. So now they're clearing all of this out again. And again, they're just on like pistols here, but they're being super methodical, trying to get the most value out of this round as they can.
Yeah, this is actually so awesome because especially with the wall and hookah and again against the pistols, the options are become really limited, and you can see that like everything is covered. I love the point that you make there. We have, the Rays able to spot towards the B long telly exit. So if they were to try to like rotate quickly, then they would run into that problem as well. So it feels like they're being controlled where they move around the map without really any risk from the defenders and Liquid's point of view. That's really cool.
Oh
Oh my
shit.
god.
Telly, what the fuck?
Yeah, this has to be so hard to play against if you're FPX here.
Yeah, because they have all these passive abilities in the B side, like the recon constantly recharging, the smokes constantly recharging. It's like there's infinite abilities going on at the B bomb site right now. It feels like there's this nonstop shit being thrown. Whereas when I watch these NA teams play right now, it's like they just have a jet and a raise at B. Like there's only so
Yeah.
much you can do. There's only so much you can do to stall them out. Whereas all these players have just passive abilities that just keep recharging. So Eccles just keeps smoking. The recons keep pinging places. The drones going out, and it's just very annoying. It's very annoying to go B against this.
I like the way that the trips are being set up around you as well, because you're always worried about that jet dashing through to you, especially in those rounds. So I like that they're thinking about that too.
On round 6 here then, so Eccles is switching spots. Now he's back towards A, and he's going to clear out showers with Scream, except this time you'll notice they don't have anything outside hookah to really slow or deter the team from taking that area. So they're actually going to, FPX are actually going to call their bluff on this on a fast like split here, since they're facing no counter utility at the start for once. And they just clear out hookah with the flash, and then the showstopper comes in the site.
It's like playing Quake there.
Yeah.
But it's just like insane how so many rounds they had at least like one smoke towards B, like whether it was long or outside hookah, that constant one. And you change that for one round, and FPX instantly just called their bluff on it. And they're like, okay, we think you're doing something different this round, so we're going to try to expose you with this.
It's so cool. Honestly, it's so cool to see Angel just leading more teams. He's actually like such a good leader. I feel like he's brought up so much talent over the years in the CIS region.
Yeah, it's actually insane how many people Angel has like brought up. Really is. Oh wow, they
I
broke that
like
wall
the
quick.
attempt at this war. It's such a hopeless scenario, unfortunately. But again, though, like I'm liking that the wall is available for these retakes and for these later round situations. I feel like Sage is. I feel like it's like this in NA. There are like a couple Sage specialists, and other people might play Sage every so often and just copy what those people do, but they're still not themselves the Sage specialists. They don't have a good, more intuitive understanding of like the value that Sage can provide in some of these. But like holding on to a wall for the late round, and what are the really sick spots to be able to use it for? Obviously, that's not necessarily one of them, but the point still stands.
Dude, you know what I think I've come to realize by watching this game is that Europeans have been conditioned to not play hookah the way these NA teams are playing hookah. It's not like they didn't think, oh, we can play in hookah every round. It's like everyone wants to play as aggressive as possible. But when you play against a breach like this that's aftershocking in practice all day, or you're playing against some nerd that's doing some nerdy shit, I just feel like these European teams might be more polished based on what I'm seeing right now. Like it's not possible to aggress as easily on them. I don't know. Before I thought NA was a better region, but I'm not sure anymore. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I think it might be EU after watching this.
The first international LAN is going to be,
Yeah.
oh, so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good actually. Like I'm stoked to see the first international land.
So this round as well, we're going to see another really good adjustment come out of Liquid. So you can see they're playing more heavy towards B, and they're going to be playing 2 inside Hookah, which I think is Eccles and Scream. And Eccles, pretty sure, is opping this round. So they're not going to be, yeah, he's opping this round. So they're not going to be throwing any utility out at the start here. And what they're trying to do here is try to bait them in again without showing a lot of utility at B to try to bait them into that fast B take again, since Eccles is holding this op and thinking maybe they won't take it fast, or maybe like they'll see that we aren't smoking again and thinking we're sticking with the same setup. So I like the adjustment here, though nothing really comes out of it. So now they're playing more aggressive in hookah, more like we would see from NA teams like Sick and Sinatra would do, where Scream's there to wall it off. If they did like a Omen flash along with the raised boombot, could easily block that off. But the one thing though I think is Eccles kind of sits on this angle for like a really long time in this round. After a while they need to gather some info on the other side of the map, because they cleared out showers at the start and recon short. He has all of his utility at A. He recon short again, but they're already starting to move up now.
Oh damn. A recon. I knew that would be a good recon.
And Eccles is like, he holds his angle for so long at B, like thinking that there was like fake execing or someone's gonna lurk up, and Scream kind of has to stay with him as well because he wants to make sure the op can exit hookah safely out of long towards back spawn. And now here's the next issue that they have. Since they're so heavily invested in that B setup and they didn't really have any control anywhere because Link was opping in heaven with the Sova. So now they're all retaking from spawn, and they don't really have like that much great utility left because 2 of them are opping, which is an even greater challenge, which is kind of like the counter that we've mentioned multiple times to people talking about the op OP. In situations like this, it's very hard to like retake from this scenario, even though like I know Link has a lot of his utility still, like his drone.
It's that classic sort of thing where you can almost break it down into the numbers of just how many areas you have to play post plant, and you can see on the attackers have you short, and they had bathrooms. They actually gave it up just now, but it's just so much to deal with on the defense. Honestly, I feel like when it's only 2 positions you have to worry about at the beginning, it feels a lot more doable when you're coming out of spawn. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
think
it's
I would have liked to see Link's ult actually from like almost near CT spawn. Like
right. Yeah.
L bend right there coming into the back of the site, because that ult as Sova just going straight through U-Haul and up short A is just like so ridiculous. There's just no way you don't blind ult someone in that scenario on an A hit. But when you ult from heaven as Sova, you're changing elevation and like you have to cross many different angles. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you have to almost get lucky at that point that you kill a guy if you're gonna blind ult. Whereas if you do it
Yeah.
from spawn, like you're just guaranteed to kill. I feel like.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's sure it's so much more congested too, so it's more likely that they're going to be bumping into each other as well. Totally agree. And it's also something that you can even save for when you actually force them back to that position, because there's that tug of war on retakes that exists where short is always going to be the last position that will be held onto when there's a short plant. After you've taken away the U-haul control and everything else, short's all that remains. So I like that there's that answer that once they're like in you save the Sova ult as your team is attacking into you, and all that they have is the U in short position. Yeah, I completely agree there.
I think as well, if like the two ops retaking A, they did like they smoked off short and they still had Scream's wall, I'm pretty sure. So they had good utility to retake. It's just the issue is when you have to clear out U-haul, hold showers, and hold short. Good teams aren't just going to be peeking you. And when you have two people opping in a scenario like that, they're basically forced to like hold more passive angles to see if someone overextends. And top teams like this aren't going to be just like wildly peaking in a ranked game in a post-plant scenario. They're going to be relying on their like crossfires and using the extra utility, like if a Sova recon comes in or something like that. So this makes it extremely difficult from that position. On this,
Dude, there's new looks every round, huh? Like I
Yeah.
never feel like I see the same
Yeah.
the same pairings at the B site. It's always different.
that's why I think is like really great about Omen too, especially with how Eccles was playing him this map. It's like you can smoke wherever, but it's still like a mystery on what you're actually doing in the round or where you're at positionally. So here he's just gonna straight up peek B long and gets caught out. I can't remember exactly what he might. He just gets out hopped.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, so
he's a bit slow
reses
on this
here.
one, I think, unfortunately.
Damn,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that Sova didn't shoot a recon or anything. Oh.
Oh, see ya.
Oh shit! And then the Raze is like protecting him. Wait.
He ults to
Where?
spawn.
Oh, he ulted away.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that he ulted to spawn though. It might have just been a panic, but I think like when you know they get that pick long and the res is there, so they know Scream's there, that you would try to ult towards like elbow or like closer to B at least. But it might have just been a panic thing just to get out of the teleporter.
Dude, no balls if you don't ult T spawn on that. What if he ults T spawn, dude? I would be the most
That would be
ballsy
nuts.
play. I would love it. I would love
If
it.
he had a rifle, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It would have been so fucking ballsy, but I would have loved it.
I think, yeah, so in this round after they're taking long, Scream does a really good job to identify, like, oh, we're in a really bad position here. So he kills Zipan and Hookah, who's alone by himself, and then he takes Hookah control. So now they at least have, like, some foothold on the position, because they know Scream's, like, under Hookah or side or, like, inside Hookah. So now they have to worry about this angle as well, which buys more time for his teammates to get out back site, because they're worrying about finding Scream.
Dude. These guys are fucking hard to beat at this B site. I don't know what.
Scream's been so good here. Like, he's won them at least, like, 3 rounds with how he's played B.
Like, they kill this man at B long. He gets rezzed. He goes through the telly. He ults back into spawn. He comes back and smokes the garden before the hit ever happens. Like, get the fuck out of this site, bro. Like, what do we have to do to get you out of here? Like, it's insane. That's crazy. I felt like they did so much to win this round at B, and they just couldn't get it.
Yeah, it's actually amazing watching this. You're right, there is such a big difference between the regions. I just wanted to highlight that we are approaching the hour, Sean. So I want to check in with you and the time, because I feel like we're really out of shape. We try to run a 5K in 20 minutes. We've been running for 25 minutes, and we've got a ways to go. So how are you doing, man?
We're doing good. I
think we've got 3 rounds left. So
yeah, we're finishing up quick. This next round's kind of a wash as well, because they're trying to bait them into this hookah peak again with Eccles here. This time he smokes B long, which is a bit different, but now since there's nothing here to slow them, they're just going with that normal like hookah progression with like a raised boom bot. The aftershock I think is really good there to prevent any oppers peeking. that little hallway. Scream walls it off here, so now they're kind of in a reset position. And this round kind of plays out like, I think it was round 7, where they're all trying to retake from spawn, and they don't really have a good foothold position here to actually hold the site or to retake it, really, just based off of utility and positioning. So we'll see that play out here on the exec.
Oh, that was actually a one-way thrown by Liquid's Omen
Yeah, Echoes on the
onto
short
short
routes.
Eccles, yeah. I didn't notice that the first time I watched this.
Dude, they're really good at clearing U-Haul, man. With those breach
Yeah.
flashes combined with like the telling across. Fuck, it's good. And then they're also following a drone in like late round after they've already cleared it, just in case someone else came in there. Like that's pretty methodical.
I think Breach's flashes
Oh.
are so good for U-Haul as well.
Oh
'Cause,
my
like,
god.
This man is trying to live so hard.
Like, if you think about Reyna and Omen's flashes, they aren't really effective in U-Haul because you're so close to the enemy when you come in there. But Breach's flashes, they just do not care about what distance you are, and they go through anything. So
I'm playing Breach again.
Yeah, I think I want to too.
like another character for you to team flash me
Oh
on.
yeah, this is so sick. By the way, when I first saw this, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I love that
Camming
camera
the guy
pivot.
and then shooting him through the box. Oh,
I love the spectating. Can I give the spectator
Yeah,
of that a shout out? That last cam
yeah.
angle? That was dope.
And indeed, I will flash it to another you, Mike. Just you watch.
Cheers. Looking forward to it.
Oh man, so sick.
Okay. I
Is
think
have
EU
a-
might be better on blind.
I have a quick question for both of you guys. We're not seeing a brimstone at all, and I've been seeing. We obviously saw that today in NA as well on bind. What do you make of that? Because brimstone, I feel like brimstone was pretty standard.
Zom still plays a lot of Brimstone on blind. I don't think he is worse than Omen. I think they're just different, right? Like there's something about having agents that have ults that can win you rounds. Like when you're in a tough spot, right? Like nothing's working, but yet you have this Brim ult that could either win you a post plant or can like clear out U-Haul or like you saw trap people in showers and get you that frag. Like there's something to that, right? You can't tell me that Omen is definitively better than Brimstone because Omen doesn't have that. Omen's ult does not win you rounds. It like I don't care how you tell me, oh, you could get info, blah blah blah. Like you can all behind. No, trust me, I've played Omen a lot, and it's not as impactful as a Brim ult. So I think there's something to that because as an in-game leader, when I get in like sticky scenarios, like there's so many times in ranked games where I'm playing Omen, I'm just like, this seems unwinnable. Like this literally seems unwinnable. But if I had a Brim ult, I could feel like I could at least win that round and break the other team's money, you know? So I think there'll always be a place for Brim. It's interesting that these EU teams don't play Brim because I think, I mean, as like an Omen one trick, obviously I'm super happy to see Omens all over the place, but I definitely see value in Brim for sure. I think
Yeah,
he's very good actually.
I
yeah.
think,
Do you have any thoughts on it, Mike? Like,
yeah, I was talking in the match discussion chat earlier with some people. I think I've identified why people pick Omen more, and I think they look at Omen and they see, oh, he has smokes that he can place like anywhere on the map basically, and he gets them back, and he has a flash. I think that's the main reason a lot of these guys are picking Omen, because like what you're seeing Echoes do this entire map, where it's like, okay, I'm throwing support smokes across the map like a one-way on A short to help my team. They see stuff like that plus the flash, which is very good, and they outweigh that compared to Brim's kit. But like Sean was saying with his ult, like Brim's ult almost makes me think Brim is like superior to Omen, just because like, oh, a Phoenix ulted. Oh, I know where he ulted from. You can ult that and kill him now. Oh, I know where you're rezzing from because we got that kill here. Okay, now your res is gone. Possibly your Sage too. I just think like his ult is almost too versatile to pass up, especially if you're like if you're putting your Brim in a good position to get like orbs and stuff like that throughout the match. But I do think it comes down to like the utility with the smoke Being able to place anywhere and gain the mech and the flash is the main difference.
Dude, you know what's insane? I haven't seen like an impactful showstopper in like a pro match in a long time. Like the one we saw in this VOD review might have been the best one I've seen, where he like entry onto the B side and got the kill on the other raise. But other than that, like there's not many impactful showstoppers I'm seeing, which
I
is
think
crazy.
the draw time patch made a lot of that
Yeah.
was a huge change.
Like it used to be the most impactful ult in the game, and now I see it popped and I'm like, even if this guy goes and gets a kill with it, he's gonna die. The second he shoots it, he's dead.
Mm.
Like he better get that kill. You know, unless he's like shooting it over the truck at the A side or some shit like that, like over the wall, and then he's falling back to like the safety of the other side of it. But most of the time when the Raze shoots it, they're like in the middle of the open and they're gonna die after.
Yeah.
It's not that sick.
It's gone to more kind of an entry thing as well, primarily. Like before, I thought you would see more people trying to win like clutches with it, especially if you're like playing post plan on a bomb or something. But yeah, I definitely think it's more of like, oh, here's a free entry, but I also have to like give up my life for it at the same time, but it buys you guys space, so there's that trade-off.
True.
Yeah, I think it's in a pretty good place because their kit overall is actually extremely good. So yeah,
I agree.
it feels like it's in a good place right now.
Yeah, because her kid is insane. Like her
Yeah.
kid is all really good.
All right. So what do we have coming up here now, Mike?
We're gonna kind of blow through this one because I think this was also kind of a weaker buy. I'm so used to like, I think Scream's on like a Marshall and a few other guys are on weaker guns. I'm so used to having like the scoreboard up at the start of every round from the other observers, so I was kind of caught off by
Sapa
this.
is really good with that.
Yeah, still waiting for HUD, but we'll get it. So
One
this
day.
is another
Technology's not there yet.
another fast A exec here.
Slow nade combo. Yes.
And then Scream is going to overextend a bit because he thinks he can catch this guy reloading in showers, but good awareness by that guy. It's not fully spam, so he's not out of ammo. But
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, they had a potential to actually like really slow this down, like Sean said, with the slow and the nade, but chose to just take the fights instead.
I kind of like that in a sense that Scream felt like perhaps the wall was a bit more broken. Like you said, he could catch the reload. And if he gets that kill, he gets the gun upgrade and he has bathrooms control. And that feels like a really big payoff in that moment where it feels like they're almost favored to win the rounds. So I can kind of see that, what the reason why he risked it.
This is something that kind of annoyed me a lot for some reason, but so Cypher's still alive and Link has his ult. So, someone TP'd and now you can hear the bomb plant noise coming in from spawn. Cryptic still has his cam up here. You can see on the map towards Long B.
Oh, yeah.
So he could ping him here, but Link pops his ult before he can actually ping him. So he misses
that's
him.
A fail.
Yeah, and he cams him after, but now it's too late because you could have denied the plant. They still win this, I'm pretty sure, but it would have made it like such a guaranteed round where is now you leave it kind of up to chance.
How the hell did that man not get hit by either of those trips, by the way? Like, dancing around like that, running to the... Like, what?
He's a ballerina on Breach.
So light on his feet.
Shadows is actually like really sick. I hadn't heard about him until I watched a few of these matches, but especially on Breach, he's like really good.
Yeah, imagine dying to like a cracked out aimer with LOLZ on the end of their name. Immediately tilted. Immediately tilted.
With an agent that no one's playing anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like, even though they didn't really slow the A take there, they did a really good job here actually getting into sight and forcing them out of position. Could have made it a little bit better if the Cypher cam at B there linked up with the Sova ult. This was something else that kind of annoyed me, so I don't know what you guys think about this, but we have a little bit of time to still talk about it. Sova and Cypher on the same site for defense. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Ooh.
I think for me it's something where like it makes sense if you're planning to get if you're planning to make like a play with the drone or some control play of some kind, it makes sense to me. But otherwise, I don't like them both sitting on the site because I want the info. I mean, if your server is able to, throw the darts to the other side of the map, fair enough. But yeah, I actually like the drone so much around bathrooms, around short, the option to like pop it through the telly. Like, I feel like you get so many more options as Sova to help the team out on A. So unless you have a specific plan behind Sova's utility to really fight for B long control or to do something similar to that, then I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have liked him to see him put the cam in A at least, right? Like,
Yeah,
is he
or at
really
Oh
least
using the
one
yeah.
cam?
trip.
But he should have like loaned some of his utility to the other site, maybe. But I kind of want to see how it plays out. Let's see. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, I think
One
it's
one
just.
oh,
Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say one quick thing for me is I often see to me like elbow is a position that if I'm a Sova, I'm like I can make some really great plays from there. I also think the same thing with Cypher as well because elbow is a position where you can survive and force 1v1s if they do go for your bomb site. And so I feel like that's another thing where they're almost tripping over each other in their preferences.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also just think like if you're thinking of it like really simply, when both of these agents are used for gathering info, when you put them on the site, unless you're like going full out, like you said, with a like full-fledged information play or some massive extension, you're really just like limiting your information across the map in general when you should be trying to maximize as much as possible when you're picking these two. But we'll watch it play out here. I think they just go into another. Yeah, this is another like A split coming up.
Damn, a 4 showers hit. I feel like this is so rare. I rarely I never see 4 shower hits in pro level. That's a sick flash.
Yeah. And Scream has a really good wall on short here, even though they were like massively up showers just in case there's a split. I think he gets 3. Yeah, he gets 3 here.
Damn. But that's what I was talking about with the showstopper. Like, that guy got 1 kill with that out of a 4-person shower hit. That seems like the best case scenario to pop a showstopper, no?
Yeah, when you like when all that utility is flooding out and you have like one central like small choke point that you can drop it in at any like time, especially when you know the breach has to be there because he's flashing out, so you know at least one is there. I feel like you were saying earlier, when people are out in the open and stuff like that, like the entry we saw in the B, people are just trying to think of like common positions instead of like, oh, here's a really small choke point that I can 100% get a kill in with my showstopper if they come out.
Yeah, I was thinking about the showers thing today as well because I saw some abuse of that in some of the matches and it feels like very strong in a couple ways. One, the default expectation if there is an A split coming is that you will have like a lurk on bathrooms. And if you are doing your default in a way where either you're consistently winning bathrooms control and you can just have whatever you want there and they don't get info on that, or you represent a lot of aggression there and then most of the time, let's say you take it with 3 players, and then most of the time you pull like 2 of those players out and just leave a lurk there. Sometimes you can then have those rounds where you actually keep like you actually have 4 players there or something. And in those rounds, the defenders are not going to be thinking that it's going to be a huge showers burst because it almost seems counterintuitive because it's such a small choke point. So most defenders will, by default, presume that the attack is coming from short where they don't have info, and they're going to toss their utility towards that. And if you, as the attackers, have the right ults, let's say, like today I saw Hunter's Fury, where they were able to initiate from bathrooms with the Hunter's Fury to clear the right side cubby on the back side of A, the triple boxes, and towards APC. And so all of a sudden, if you're able to get that info with the Hunter's Fury, which forces them to move and maybe just get the kill, like now you can just flood through the bathroom's choke point. It's super easy. And there's other ways to do that too, if you have the right abilities. So I really like it as this like mix up that happens like a couple times a match, but you never know when it's going to happen. And it's a benefit to winning bathrooms control consistently on your default.
Yeah, I think I saw the round you're talking about. It's actually insane. Uh, maybe they should make it so that way Sova's ult does more team damage than what it does currently. Because I didn't know this,
Yeah.
but it does like significantly less to your team.
Yeah.
So like honestly, if I were in him leading a team, I might design a strat where Sova's just like ulting us and we're running with it, and he's like clearing out shit. Like I'll take the 30 HP loss if it means like clearing out 3 angles that are very difficult to clear. You know,
Yeah.
like it's not a bad idea in some scenarios to do that as like one-off strats. And it almost seems like you would win those rounds more often than not, especially the way you described it in A. Like I'll tank those hits because those people are gonna be jumping around clueless. They won't expect you to be running with the ult.
Does it
So
mark teammates as well? Like, does it show your position to the enemies? Like, highlight you?
that's a good question. I don't think it does, but
I feel like that would also be huge if it marked you and people could
yeah,
like counter
maybe it
spam
should
you.
mark you.
Because I
Because yeah,
know.
I definitely see pro teams. They're gonna abuse that. Pro teams will abuse that if that's
Oh
not
yeah.
changed.
Like we talked about it on this map as well, like clearing out hookah with the ult, and then maybe you pick like, okay, I'm a ult right cubby, and then I'm a ult like this back. You can ult pretty much like the entire back site with Sova, and you'll be on that different elevation if you're down towards T spawn. So I feel like it could be really beneficial for teams to do that. And then this round, let's check the notes quick. I think this was just like another like standard setup here coming out of Liquid, if I remember right. It's kind of
Thank you, Spidey for the sub.
Oh, what's up,
Crazy.
Jerry?
It's crazy that they only have 6 rounds. It's like 6-5 right now. I feel like Liquid's playing it so well, man.
Yeah. There's been a lot of games like this where we have this exact same reaction where it's like, this team is playing so much better, but it's a
Yeah, it's
even score.
I feel like that happens so much more in this game than CS. Like,
Yeah.
especially the matches today that I was watching, like some of the halves were like relatively close. I'm like, doesn't feel like that at all. Like, I think T1 got like 5-7 on a sen or something like that. I'm like, doesn't feel like that for Immortals.
Yeah, I remember that too. I was like, dude, what?
Yeah.
How are they this close?
Because they
Like-
rushed A like 3 rounds in a row with like 3 people with food. Just got
I'm like,
entries.
I start
on
like
A.
literally counting to 10, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 is only 2 off from 7. What the fuck is going on here? Like,
So I have a really quick thought on this that I was thinking about today. So, and this scares me for the future of this game, possibly. One of the things that makes, let's say, Counter-Strike and StarCraft so amazing to follow is that playing optimally is so extremely difficult. Everyone can kind of see how it works, but it's so hard to obtain consistently. And that's how some of the top teams really stand out. But in this game, I'm worried that there's going to be too much variance and that we won't have teams rewarded consistently enough for being better at the very. That's what I'm worried about. I don't know if that's going to be a thing that comes into play or not, or if the game changes more. But yeah.
yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that too, because these top teams are going to be constantly having to like change what they're doing because anything can be anti-stratted. There's no god setup, right? Like the way you see Astralis dominating with utility and stuff like that, like I don't foresee that happening because other teams could copy that very easily in this game. Whereas
Yeah.
Astralis has a lot of like timing and small like things that they do. In this game, it's different because every agent has unique abilities. So you can anti-strat someone really easily. Like you can figure out what's going on. So the top teams are going to have a very hard time with, you know, like you're saying, the variance. I'm worried about that.
I think as they like get more analysts and coaching on their staff, though, it'll definitely like separate out teams a bit. Because right now it's kind of tough because some of these teams don't even have coaches, so their IGLs are doing a lot of the work. So there's definitely like gaps in everyone's game plans. But I think in a year or so, when people are like, okay, we have a coach and a few analysts, it'll definitely help a lot for these top teams.
But that might make it better though, Dan. It might make it like TI. Like I never was like a
Mhm.
Dota fanatic, but you know, like how in TI people never could guess like really who would win. It seems like there's just like a lot of variance, but the super high skilled players would make it deep.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, there's definitely a world where like it just works. It's I think if you had it in the CS system where it's like an oversaturation of tournaments, I think it would be pretty messy. But if you have stuff like the TI where it's like all eyes on this one tournament and it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks to play out, 4 weeks, and you can start with being a fan of nobody, but like pick someone and then follow everyone through the tournament. That's definitely a different experience. That is, but it's still compelling in that setup. So I don't think people even understand what the ecosystem is going to look like in 1 to 2 years as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not clear at this point.
Yeah.
Really excited actually for like how this game pans out. I have
Yeah.
a lot of high hopes for the esports scene in this game.
And you can see why they have this philosophy around having a very small map pool because already, like, just looking at this European scene after being in the vacuum of North America for a while, the amount of different new stuff that I'm seeing that is not hidden. It's not hidden from anyone in North America. It's just that it's like there's just so much shit that you can do in this game. So it's crazy.
Yeah, if you had like 8 maps, it'd be dude, people in
Impossible.
ranked would take so long to even learn like basic things.
Yeah.
And like
Sounds
it,
like fun.
yeah, ranked game like to the casuals, if you had like 7 maps in this game, it would be fucking awful. It would be awful because no one would know what to do on like half the maps. So I think they actually do need to keep the map pool pretty low in this game. I mean, that hurts me to say that though, because I want new maps. So like
Yeah.
I can't have it both ways. Like I could definitely see the problem with having a lot of maps though.
They just need to
Could see
get it
it.
to 5 for like best of 3 vetoes. That's like so annoying to have 4 maps for a best of 3, but we'll probably see it sooner rather than later, I imagine, a 5th map.
Yeah, I think I agree with chat. Chat saying they want 5 maps for like a best of 5. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. Maybe one more map for
Mm-hmm.
now.
So
All right,
Maybe
Mike.
like new map. I don't really like how like some of the maps play out right now, so maybe alter them a little bit. Slight changes to the current maps.
Yeah, you could do
Like
it like CS, just like have 1 or 2 new maps every year, just rotate them in. I think that could work.
yeah. Yeah, that could work.
All right, bring us home, Mike.
Yep. So this round, same thing we were talking about before. So when Cypher on B limits your information on the other side of the map. So Scream and Soulcast are going to be clearing out showers just physically. The issue is Scream has res this round, so it's a little bit dangerous, even though Soulcast is going to get picked off here and Scream trade frags it. But
Wow, that's a super sick cam. Very high. That's the one people are using today, huh? It's just I can
yeah,
never see it.
Yeah.
Scream's a little bit spaced out on this trade frag though, so he's kind of lucky there's a gap in that cage. But
Mm.
that's just
Wow. Found that
imagine
fucking gap.
imagine if they just had their set before where Soulcast is in showers and then they just have Link reconning outside showers and you could have gotten that cipher like information with a recon dart and then the raise is there versus risking your res for the last round of the half.
Yeah, that was risky, huh? Damn.
So like that's an information play I don't mind right there because it's like,
Mm.
okay, we killed the showers guy. We're kind of dead in the waters now in terms of info. I'm just going to clear short quick, gets a kill, comes back.
God damn, dude. Scream has had some valuable ass reses this game, huh?
Yeah, and all of his utility in general, especially like on B site. I feel like if
Yeah.
you want to be a Sage, you should be. I know people don't like agree with Scream playing Sage either, since he has like nuts aim and all that. They think, oh, he should be on a duelist, but like some of the stuff he does on Sage is really impressive, especially this map. So I think it's definitely one to watch.
That was a very eye-opening half of screenplay. I'm not gonna lie, like
Yeah,
I didn't think I would witness that. That was
Yep.
very, very, very good Sage play.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed when I watched this game and I was like looking at what Scream was doing. Because at the beginning of this game, when I was watching Scream, he was making so many really just kind of mistakes that were so fundamental. And I'm like, you surely should have, learned never to make these mistakes after playing so many years of professional level CS. And so I wasn't sure really if he'd be anything other than sort of that just one trick aimer. And he's really developing really nicely. He's making great decisions. And I think this is a lot with Sage in particular, because you really have to understand the flow of the rounds and how to put yourself in very forward positions, but not too forward, so that you can support your team and create pressure and get their walls off, get their reses off, and like understand how to like when is it good to use that utility, because it's super valuable and people are getting really good at just draining it. And so there's like a lot of nuance to it. So I'm actually super impressed.
Well, that's
Right.
all the rounds we got for this demo.
All the
So
rounds. Well, thank you everybody for sticking with us. Let's do close here by just telling everybody what everyone is up to. Obviously, I'm casting the Pop Flash stuff, so you'll see me there in the broadcast over the next few days. Sean, you've been doing co-streams. You've been like doing analysis and stuff.
Yeah, I did that today. That's shit, dude. That's why I'm cooked right now, man. I don't know. I mean, you're probably equally as hard because you had to go into the studio and like you have to get there so early today, obviously, before the games go live.
Sean was
So
like Tony
been a long day.
Romo on the stream today. He was drawing out all the X and O's on every single round, so he's got it covered.
I don't know much about hand egg these days, but yeah, I was definitely drawing some X's and O's on the stream today.
And are you going to be up to anything that people can find you, Mike? What are you doing over the next few days?
Probably gonna get cooked in the heat the next few days out of working for UPS, but I still kind of want us, or maybe just myself, to do like a demo stream, or not like a demo stream, but like explaining defaults at some point. I might just do that by myself because I feel like I could cobble that together pretty quick, but can't make any promises yet on that.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to do some like impromptu stuff where we just like go over some things like that. That sounds like a pretty valuable. Right. Well, again, to you guys, thank you so much for watching, and check out the YouTube channel and check out the Discord for any content that you've missed. The YouTube channel that is, and for Discord, if you want to join a community of like-minded individuals to be able to play to find, so you can have a better quality to your matchmaking games, so that you can hopefully get a better environment to become a better player. Check out our Discord. That's kind of one of the main reasons it's there. We also have a match discussion channel that's really, popping off when we have these matches. So during this Pop Flash Invitational, if you're looking for people to just sit in the Discord and just like talk about the matches with, it's a perfect place to do that. Am I missing anything, Mike, in terms of cool stuff we're doing on the Discord?
Think we're good for now. We're about to hit 300 people in the Discord, which like each day I check in, it goes up like by a massive amount. So it's growing pretty fast and it's really active every day.
Discord's banging. If you want to be in the top 1%, the first 1%, you better get in now because we're about to hit 1 million. 1 million. Billions are going to join the Immortal Minds Discord one day.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. It's definitely like I'm actually so happy with how it's going. It's awesome, and you guys are the ones that are making it awesome. So thank you for joining, and also thank you to all the subs today. And as far as Immortal Minds, we'll be live on Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time with our typical show. We're definitely going to be talking a lot about the Pop Flash Invitational, and I imagine doing a preview of the playoffs, as I think we will have the information by then as to what the playoff bracket will look like. So make sure to tune into that to hype you up for those games, which will likely be amazing. And we are still trying to figure out exactly all of the details of that show, but it's going to be an amazing one. So make sure you put that in your calendars. And once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on Saturday.